Hi, I'm Aubrey Leiter, and this is Brandon Weiss and Sam Richmond, and we've been working this semester on something called the Mizzou Made app. So what is Mizzou Made? It's the Mizzou football program's approach to developing student athletes academically, athletically, and socially better than any other program in the nation. It's a branding tool for the team. They use it everywhere. So the purpose of this app, the main purpose, is a recruiting tool. Prospective student athletes can see what Mizzou players are doing now after they get their education here at Mizzou. It's a place to put the social media of all the former Mizzou football players in one place. And it's a way for former players to connect with each other and a way for fans to see what former players are up to now and to connect with them. So for our research for this project, we conducted a survey. We sent it to the former Mizzou football players of the Gary Pinkel era, and he's been here for 14 seasons. So we asked them how likely they would be to use this app, and 58% said they'd be very willing, 28% said somewhat willing, and 14% said they weren't very willing to use it. Then we asked them what they would like to see on the app, and we gave them a variety of options, but two were pretty much what we knew they wanted to use. So 100% of participants said they wanted to know what former players were doing now, and 76% said they wanted to see a map of where the former players are living. So we took the results of this question and decided on 4 main features for our app. The first being one stream that puts the tweets, Instagram posts, and public Facebook posts of the former Mizzou football players in one streams. And then one is a map that represents where the former players are living based on state. And then there's profiles of each individual player that has their name, what position they were, what year they graduated, and what their current profession is. And then finally an Ask a Tiger section where fans can submit questions and the players have the option to respond. So basically we've had to gather all this information for all the guys that played under Gary Pinkel, and that's over 270 players. We had to find out what they're doing now, where they're living, and look up their social media information and their contact information. And as far as app design goes, we're working with a professional developer, Tyten Teegarden, here at the J School, and him alongside Mike McKean have been taking us through this process. We chose to use the font Universe to be used throughout the app because it's similar to the Mizzou Nike font and they will complement each other well. And then the colors of our app are going to be white, black, and gold.
As for the design of the app itself, we'll start with the icon here. So basically what we wanted to do throughout the app is to stick with the Mizzou branding. So what you're getting on this icon here is up top with the Mizzou, that is the Nike Mizzou. The hashtag Mizzou Made is obviously a sticking point for the football program, and the oval tiger head is the logo for the school and something that Nike said fans around the country must identify the University of Missouri with. Here's the social media feed, the first aspect of our app, keeping up with what players are doing. So on the screen we have an example of a Twitter post up top from James Franklin, then we have a Facebook post from Chase Daniel, and then at the bottom is an Instagram from TJ Moe. All these were real posts that they made, so that's just an example of what it would look like. We keep everything uniform so that it doesn't look differently across the 3 main platforms. And obviously with the Facebook and with the Instagram, we wanted to keep the main focus on the picture so the picture is bigger and it would take up more room than a tweet. The map of where current former players are. This is the true map, so that is where we've tracked down all the former players to. It takes up about half of the United States. So how it comes up, it's a black screen. The user views the map, and they have 2 options to go from there. They can either click on a gold state, which would pull up all the former players who are currently residing in that state, or they can go to that search bar at the top and start typing in a name that they want to search for. So let's say they start searching for a name. This is the screen that they would see. The keyboard pops up, they start typing through the name, and then options come down for what that could possibly be. So if, say, you wanted to search for Chase Daniel, but you haven't finished his name, you'd see Chase Daniel, Chase Patton, and Charles Gaines because they all start with the same 3 letters. If you chose to click on a state, this is what you would see. The state name appears up top, and then we organize by class. So if you click on Missouri, you'd see from the class of 2014, we only had 2 players. From the class of 2013, we have 4. And then you can scroll back in time all the way back to when Coach Pinkel first started. In terms of the player profile, here's what you would see for EJ Gaines. So again, sticking with choosing Missouri, and then one of the players from Missouri is EJ. You get his headshot from his time at Mizzou, his name up top. You see his position in there, what year he graduated, what his current profession is, defensive back for the St. Louis Rams, and his current city, St. Louis, Missouri. You can then choose to ask him a question as part of the Ask feature of the app. This is what the Ask section looks like when the user first checks it. Everyone with an iPhone is pretty familiar with what the text messaging screens look like, so we set it up similarly to that, except instead of blue and gray, the colors are black and gold to stick with the branding. So the questions appear in black, the answers appear in gold, and then whoever's answering, their name appears at the bottom right of the speech bubble. So for instance, for that first question, what was your favorite victory as a Missouri Tiger? We have EJ Gaines and Chase Daniel, top, bottom, answering how we guessed they would have answered that question.
Yeah, so if you see on this page, you have the submit a question icon at the top right. So if you click on that as a fan, as a user, you'll see this page, which is where you ask the former players a question. So you have the submit button at the top right where you can submit it. You have the text box where you ask the question, and every former player has the potential to see that because this would just be to everyone. This is not like a specific question to a single player. If you go from there, you hit submit, you get a message thanking you for your question, and we don't have notifications that your question's been answered, so we have to tell them, check back later to see which players answered the question you asked. For here, this is where the former players can log in. If you see on this screen, there's a former player login here button at the top left. So former players, if they're not signed in, they'll click on that. And it'll take them to this screen, pretty standard. You have, type in username, password, submit at the top right to formally sign in. And then once a former player signs in, a fourth icon on the bottom will pop up before when you're just a fan using the app, you'll have the social media feed, the Mizzou main map, the Ask a Tiger section. But when former players log in, on the very bottom right, there will be a new icon popped up that'll just say your name and sort of confirm that you're logged in. And if they go there, they can update their information, all the information that would be in their profile, such as class, position, current city. You have the text box there to type, obviously, and then the submit button at the bottom in the middle. Once they sign in and they go to the Ask a Tiger section, they'll see a complete stream of questions. They can choose, obviously, they have the option to answer no questions. They can answer all of them. It's their choice. So if they click on one, that's one we have highlighted there. So that's what it looked like if you clicked on one, and then it'll take you to this page where it's pretty similar to the Ask question or the Ask screen where you have the text box. You can type your answer here, and then the submit at the top right. So what's next is we're going to finalize these designs. We're pretty much nearing that point, but there could be a few more changes made at this point. We're going to finalize this spreadsheet, just trying to get more players to be responsive, the ones that haven't gotten back to us sort of with their information, as you saw earlier with all the former players' jobs and emails and stuff like that. And then the final step will be to create a marketing plan for how the app will be promoted, and our goal is to release it at SEC Media Day in mid-July. Thank you.